At the Apple It's Only Rock and Roll 2009 iPod event, there was a lot of hype about cameras being released for all of the iPod range, and it was only released for the iPod Nano, which I'll be doing an in-depth view of now, because in the last video I went briefly over everything that was announced at that conference. So from here I will talk about the iPod Nano more in depth, because that was the start of the show. First off, in the Apple gallery, here it is, the new iPod Nano 5th generation. It does look surprisingly like the old model, but you can see clearly that the 2.2 inch screen, which is larger than the previous model, is definitely bigger because the scroll wheel seems to be slightly lower down. It definitely looks like the screen is bigger from these photos. It comes in the whole range of nanochromatic colours, but the casing is now anodized aluminium or aluminum, which is glossy. It's polished, so it's a really shiny, glossy effect there. And as you can see on the back here, let's just pick a random colour. You've got the camera, there's a microphone there, and this little bit is a built-in speaker like the one on the iPod Touch, which is good. And I've got a few samples here of the videos created with the iPod Nano 5th generation. So here's one from Apple. So you can see the quality is quite good. And here's another one from a different... The recording quality is actually VGA at 640 by 480 resolution with 30 frames per second capture. Which is pretty much on par with the iPhone 3GS. It comes with a few features built in, a few different effects like this thermal imaging one. And this mirrored one.
Oh man, that's cool, that's cool. Oh man, that's awesome.
So there are some cool features on that, as well as just the normal video that you can record. As well, it's got an FM radio built in, which you can pause live, so you can rewind it back as far as 15 minutes as well, and then fast forward to catch up to the live broadcast once you finish listening. Also comes with voiceover, which is the standard on the iPod Shuffle now, where it actually tells you the song name and who's performing without it interrupting your music. You're never distracted from your run or ride, it says here, by looking down at your screen, because it can tell you rather than you having to actually look to see what it is. So there's no need to get your iPod out from your pocket, let's say, to check what song it is or whatever, because it will tell you if you want it to. Also includes a new pedometer that uses the accelerometer to show you how many steps you've taken, how many calories you're burning, and all of that. You can get the Nike Plus iPod Sport Kit as well, which is pretty much the same thing, but obviously you get the different features. You get the pedometer on the shoe and all of that. But there is now a pedometer included with the new iPod Nano. Here's some of the other effects that come with it. There's the thermal, mirror, X-ray, motion blur. Some sample videos there. I showed backflip and skimboard. They're all pretty much the same. The quality is quite good for a device this small, because it's still just as thin as the previous iPod Nano, and you can see here the real glossy effect. And the last thing is, it has the larger screen, but now you can have cover flow with your videos that you actually record, and you can also make voice memos with the built-in microphone, and obviously play your music out loud with the built-in speaker in the back. here's a little view of how shiny it really is. This is at Engadget when they got hold of it after the event. And obviously, as you can see, that you normally get, it's much more shiny than it used to, and it's quite a nice finish. Some have complained that it'll probably be a fingerprint magnet, obviously because you've got the chrome bit here as well, you've got the glass screen which is curved still, and you've now got the glossy case to deal with as well, but it's only the same pretty much as an iPhone or an iPod Touch, iPod Classic. The only one now that's not got a glossy outside is the iPod Shuffle, which they updated in the different colours earlier today as well. So that's pretty much it. In the US, it's priced at $149 for the 8GB version, $179 for the 16GB version. And apart from that, that's pretty much it. And obviously in the UK as well, $115 for the 8GB and $135 for the 16GB. So the price has gone up slightly, but there's a lot of new features that have been crammed into this incredible device, which makes it now on par with a much more expensive system. Although many were disappointed that the iPod Touch didn't include one, they was probably trying to avoid the fact that this could outdo the iPhone in some cases with peer-to-peer talking such as Skype and other applications like that. Make sure to tune in next time for my full review of iTunes 9 coming in a few days.